I didn't want this to happen, but it actually happened. I warned you about this in my previous video about the industrial miner might come out for Alephium. This is how usually these mining hardware manufacturers operate. They want to take a piece of the cake. So the Bitmain dropped a big brick on the gold shell AL box purchasers, whoever purchased. You remember these guys, you know, the AL box when it was launched, it cost 7,000 euro. You know, what kind of price you will pay for it now. I will go into the details. What is this doing for Alephium? What is this doing for Alephium mining? What kind of options is there? Which is the best miner to choose? And so yeah, let's get into this video. So guys, before we go into details, hit that like button now. Hitting the like button will increase your mining performance, will save you a lot of money when you're mining. So the rumors, you know, the Bitmain dropped a bomb there back on 19th of July. I think it was Friday. They announced the Alephium miner, the Alephium Asic miner, industrial miner, which does 3.5 kilowatts at 15.6 terahash on Alephium mining. The probability seems crazy high on this. I also made a post about this, you know, let's see where this takes the price of Alephium. You know, it's now double the price, almost double the price. Currently for the Alephium, you know, usually the coin prices, you know, intend to go up in price when the manufacturers release the miners. You know, not always, it's not guaranteed. I'm not sure, maybe the manufacturers are pumping the price just to sell more hardware. It's, you know, it's definitely an option, but maybe there's a part of the peoples are just buying the miners and part of them are mining, you know, which goes hand to hand, because if people buying miners, you know, the profitability increases. So it's good for everyone. You know, where it all started, so it all started back in May, where Bitmain, you know, met the Alephium team. So everybody started to speculate about the miner release. So you can see that a few of the mining, you know, distributors are, you know, advertising AL3, of course, which is what's not true. You know, there was no AL3 miner release. I asked also Bitmain about this. They said it's all fake news. Of course, they don't want to let anybody know before they announce the miner. And of course, next up, you know, it's time to drop a bomb. Comes out iServer after Bitmain announcing a miner release. iServer also want to take part of this hype. You know, they are announcing AL0 miner, which is a home user miner, which, you know, seems very good efficiency, good price, 400 gigahash at 100 watts only. You can see all the miners here. I have it up on Profitability. It is the gold shell AL box, which is the most inefficient now and the most, you know, worst buy ever. I warned you about this miner back previously in my previous video. This miner was, you know, about 7,000 euro there a couple months ago. You can listen here what I said about this. But the biggest risk is like companies like Bitcoin will produce you know, industrial miner with like 100 times a faster, you know, bigger performance on this miner. And when you scale this, you know, when you produce, for example, 5,000 miners, and the Alephium network is still very new, you know, there's not a lot of inflation. If you produce large amount of miners, you know, the mining difficulty will increase significantly, and this miner could make, you know, in a couple months, maybe $1 a day or so, from 40 to $1, you know. So this is the biggest risk you're facing, that you never pay back the miner. All these miners are sold. They doesn't cost to make anything, you know. They are sold by the profitability, you know. This small box. Yeah. So this is what they said. You know, in a couple of months it might make $1 or so a day. You know, it's totally possible. You know, depends how many miners drop Bitmain in end of August. You might be getting about $1 in a day. You know, now you see the profitability is $35 a day. The AL0, which is, you know, much better price, it's currently priced at $800. It is, you know, with all the import duties and so on, you'll be paying about 1,000 maybe. But the profitability is $20 a day, which still seems great, you know, about 2 months payback. And the AL1, you know, does $775 US a day currently. So, you know, I just want to go into some details about what you could expect, what you could expect if Bitmain drops 5,000 miners. Currently the profitability shows $775. What happens to Bitmain if it drops 5,000 miners? So let's take a calculator. So the daily block amount produced on Alephium is 86,400. So 86,400 times 0.5 Alephium per block. So that's 43,200 Alephium a day, inflation rewards on Alephium. And if you times that, let's say the price, around $2 US, it stays the same, So it is 86,400 US inflation. Alephium is not the same, Kaspa coin type. The Kaspa has, much higher inflation rate. So when the Asics were announced on Kaspa, the daily inflation was about 700,000. So what that means is, the network can't, have such a high competition. They can't have a lot of miners because the profit will drop significantly. So if you divide this by 5,000 AL1s, for example, 5,000 AL1s, spread evenly, what kind of profitability you could expect. I just want to remind you, so now you're getting $775 on paper. But when actually the miner gets delivered end of August, 5,000 pieces, what you're going to get? You get $17.28. And think about that, you paying 32,000 for the AL1, calculate how much time it's gonna take to return this investment. For example, if the profitability stays the same, 31,000 divided by 17.28. It's gonna take 1,800 days, so 6 years, guys, 6 years. So this is what risk you're getting here. You put the possibility to never get back your money investing in such high risk. Only thing you could, hope for is the price to go 10x, but then at that point, maybe you just buy better the coin and wait for those 10x and, and sell it. Yeah, the risk is crazy here. I have made also a small chart, the price performance chart, which is the best miner to currently choose. Ice River AL0, unmined AL1, 15.6 terahash, AL box 720 gigahash, power usage 100 watts, 3.5 kilowatts, 360 watts. Estimated price $1,000, $31,500 and $3,000. So at the current price, the prices are one day you can get different price, the next day somebody sells at loss, you can get much cheaper price. But at the current market prices, what I see on the market, the efficiency. The efficiency, the most efficient, of course, is the AL1, but not far off is the Acer AL0, which is also very close to same cheapest price per gigahash, where AL1 is $2 per gigahash, where the AL box is 2.5. So about 25%, 20% more, 25 more, expensive, but it's a smaller miner, so you potentially, if you want to take a gamble, this is probably my choice, to go best for. This is how the AL0, so the AL0 miner will look like. This is, by the way, is KS Ultra, which is the 400 gigahash Kaspa miner. They all look almost the same, so probably will look about the same as the Ice River Kaspa miners. So at least by the pictures, current pictures, what they have on the site, it looks the same. So in my opinion, that's probably the best miner from these three ASIC miners to choose. Of course, if you're an industrial miner, if you are willing to take a risk, it's possible to take AL1, but stay away currently from the Gold Shell. The Gold Shell, from my own experience, is horrible company, horrible manufacturer company. The biggest downside is like, if their device breaks, even if it's arrives dead on arrival, to process warranty, they're asking, you know, $150 to ship. So you pay for the shipping to them, and then they ask you $150 for shipping from them, you know, when it's repaired. You know, it's crazy where you could, you know, expect such kind of service, you know. So I would stay away from the gold shell. You know, they like to drop, you know, under the tank, you know, their customers, you know, releasing the AL box for 7,000 euro, you know, doesn't give a shit about it, you know. Then they you know expect that probably the, you know, industrial miner will be released soon enough. And you know, what, you know, if I was a manufacturer, I would give my customers, you know, a coupon code, because they were not able to pay back the miner. But I don't think Goldshell gonna do that. You know, I you know, hardly believe that. So guys, subscribe to the YouTube channel to not miss any more videos. I hope this video was helpful to you. And guys, goodbye. Mine hardcore or don't mine at all.